All right, so welcome.
Thank you.
So doing the shaking is going to lead into today's topic. So Sasha, since this is your first time, we're actually talking about all the different aspects of manifestation and working on one each week.
Cool.
Oh yeah. So today is just about vibration, just being in the right vibration when you're trying to manifest and how to keep that vibration. This aspect is so big and so important that I've seen people online that's all their coaching practices is just getting in the right vibration. Right? Because some people are really good at asking, right? Some people are good at receiving, they're like all the different things, but it really happens a lot easier and a lot faster when you can maintain the right vibration. And what do we mean by vibration? It's about being in a place of joy for as long as possible, right? Um, because what will happen is, so if you are asking the creator for something, if you're making a list for things and there's an energy of neediness to it, or there's energy of scarcity or energy of fear, then whatever you manifest may have that energy in it. So an example would be, if you're like, oh my God, creator, I need clients or I'm going to starve. If like, there's like panic in how you ask for the clients, then you may get clients who are maybe have that desperate energy. They may not be the most aligned, right? They may be not the right fit for you because they're responding to the panic and the fear that is in your energy when you called them in. Right. And while it may be true that we do need, if this is your whole business, you do need your clients, to eat next week. And sometimes there may be lulls. The trick is before you say, hey, creator, I need this, is to find that place of happiness and ask from there. That makes sense. Because I've seen it, I've seen it in my own business in the early days a lot, that every time I ask from a place of fear, of scarcity, it is a different quality that showed up versus getting myself in the energy of I have plenty, I'm nurtured, I feel amazing. And I just creator to send me some amazing people. Sense. You get people who are much, much more ready for you if you get yourself out of that energy. The other thing about vibration is when you feel something coming in and you're like, oh my gosh, this is too good to be true. The universe might agree with you and take it away because it's too good. But make sure that you're watching like how you talk. So how do we get into the right vibration? There's like a few different things that we can do. Actually, no, there's another point I wanted to make first. So the thing about being in the right vibration, how magical it can be, is when you reach that oneness with the universe, that complete calmness where you're not being weighed down by your vices, that's when things start to manifest instantly. Right? Like coming back or going to, I think it was actually going out to teach something. I was so excited and just so in touch with the universe. I sat down and but I had a lot of luggage. I had like all the books I was carrying with me, right? And I didn't want to get up and go. And some guy came over. He's like, "Hey, if you watch my bag, I'm gonna go to Burger King. Do you want something?" I'm like, "Yes, French fries." That was my thought. I'm like, I didn't want to get up to get French fries, and they magically came demanding not to pay for them. It's a small thing, right? But it was something free that happened instantaneously without even me making the command, "Hey, creator, I want this." That makes sense. So when you find that perfect vibration, so first thing I want you to do is think about, when was a time where you actually felt like that, where you felt super in tune, and just make a note of like what it took at that time to get you there. Right? For me, I know I'm in the right vibration to manifest instantly when, first of all, when I'm really, really relaxed. Right? Like I can bend time, I can do a lot of things when I'm on road trips because I'm super relaxed and in touch with nature. I also know I'm really good at manifesting instantly when I'm coming out of doing any sort of teacher training or when I'm going to go teach somewhere back when I used to travel to teach. So I think the big thing for me is like really being like when I'm in the travel mode, that's when I manifest the most. So feel into what's true for you. I'm freaking magical when I travel. right? Because I am so filled with joy and excitement and expectation. So I know for me, those are the keys for me to get into the right mood to really manifest well. So other steps you need to take to get yourself to that perfect golden vibration is, I mean, some of these are pretty obvious. You want to make sure that you're addressing whatever is going on emotionally with you that is dragging you down, right? So feelings like emotional pain, anger, resentment, fear, things like that, those are of course going to take away from that. I don't believe in the whole just be happy and bypass your emotions. I do believe that all emotions need to be addressed to some level. There is a checklist I do go through just because I know myself, like when I hit a patch of depression. And the checklist works like this. I go up and I ask, is this mine? Because how many empaths sometimes pick up other people's emotions? Hi, Cass. So you want to make sure that when you're in a mood that is less than amazing, and that's my first thing, is this even my emotion? If it's not, you can just release it. Right? And if it is, we address it. But when things like depression, sometimes for me, annoyance is not normal for me. I will actually go ahead and have the creator balance out my hormones. And then you wait about 5 minutes and see what happens. Because, you know, sometimes we have emotions just because our hormones are doing weird things, right? My doctors are messing with my hormones hardcore. So I've been in that energy the last couple of days. I'm like, nope, I'm feeling this because it's just hormones, and that's cool. Right. And then if it really is your emotion and it's not hormonal, then that's when you do the digging to release it. So whatever it is you need to do. So make sure that you're listening to your body, right? If you're not in tune with your emotions, not in tune with what your body's saying, it's going to be harder to manifest. Nope. I had another thought, but it fell out. So we'll see if it pops back up again. The next thing I want you to do is notice what shifts your mood up and down. What are the things that bring you up? What are the things that bring you down? That's going to be different for everyone. One thing I've noticed, paid attention to is like how I relate to my cell phone. Like what activities for that will get me kind of pulled down. With Facebook specifically, I learned years ago to be super specific, to actually to curate my feed a lot. So yeah, what I mean by that is, yes, I've gone through, and people who are cranky all the time, have a low vibration, or is complaining, either I unfriend them or I silence them. Right? I don't make it a complete echo chamber. I do have people have slightly different opinions from me, but only if they can be respectful about it. Right? And if someone's energy is bugging me on Facebook, because I've got like, I don't know, 1,500 people that I'm connected with, I just go ahead and mute them for 30 days. Makes sense? So also too, I've got my TikTok curated to only show me really, really funny things. So basically, if I need a huge pick-me-up, I can watch like 10 minutes of cats saying weird things to each other. So part of it is, you know, notice what brings you down, notice what brings you up, and do those things. I was doing over the holidays a really fun thing where I had a list of 15 different things that I knew brought me joy. And so every day I had to cross some of them off. Not all of them, that's a lot, right? But it was things like reading. Reading brings me joy, right? Play with my cat, get on the treadmill and actually walk, do a little bit of Duolingo, right? So that's one thing that you can do, because part of it is we don't want to just be in the perfect mood only when we're trying to manifest something, but to try to stay in this connection to the creator and in this high vibration. Right? Because we don't want to just get the things that are on our list. We want to get all the free bonuses, all the free French fries that are in the world. Okay. So once you have an understanding of yourself, understanding the things that dip your energy and bring it up, then you want to be really, really purposeful in making sure that you're going through that you're doing the things you need to do to keep yourself in the right vibration. And as you start paying attention to this, you're going to be able to refine it a little bit more and be more in tune with your emotions. Make sense? Okay. The next thing is working on virtues. The more that you do the virtue work, it's actually going to bring more joy into your life. And what we mean by virtue work is either when you're digging to go and just make sure that you always ask your higher self or the creator for what virtues did you learn from this lesson? Or you can also just have the creator show you an ancestor who learned a virtue and take it directly from them. So the more that you develop and cultivate and also practice your virtues, the more that you're going to be able to stay in a high vibration without trying so hard. That was the thought that got away. Oh yeah. The main reason why I don't believe in just pushing your sad thoughts aside and just being in a happy space is forcing yourself to be happy without dealing with anything can actually manifest with physical things. It actually shows up as, I've seen it show up as Bell's palsy in a friend whose business name was all about being happy. And she was happy every single second of every single day, and none of those emotions could escape. And so that's how it came out for her. So yeah, our emotions are there for reasons. We have to acknowledge them and love them and help them move. And the other thing you can do to raise your vibration is to shift your self-talk or maybe even shift your environment. Right? So just like on Facebook, I don't give a lot of energy to people who are draining. You may also want to look at who are the people that you're talking to every day. Are you talking to people that all drain you, or are there people in your daily circle who are inspiring, who are happy, who bring you joy and lift you up? I know as healers, we're so good at being there for everyone else and being that support system and being the cheerleader for everyone else. But we need to make sure that we are also having someone be a cheerleader for us. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure that and also, yeah, that the people around you are working for you. No, we're not saying that you don't need to nurture the people around you, but make sure someone's nurturing you back and someone's taking care of you besides just you. Okay. Also looking into your actual physical environment. Is there a space in your home where you can relax 100% and really be yourself and feel free? So making sure that you create in a sacred space in your home can be huge, especially if you share spaces with other people. And also too, clean your house. Keeping it clean is huge for your vibration, right? And also for manifesting, if you have so much stuff that you can't deal with it, like it's always messy, it's going to tell your subconscious you have too much and it won't allow more in. So literally having clear surfaces, like at least one or a few surfaces that are either completely clear or only have 3 items on it is going to create more space in your brain. How many of you get stressed out by clutter? Yeah. Everything has a vibration, and when it's unorganized, you can sort of, see that or feel that. If you don't have a problem with clutter, you may want to check to see if your body's used to chaos, and that's why you might be creating it, because that feels normal. Okay. And then the last thing for getting into that vibration is make sure that you know how to let yourself relax. I know a lot of us on here are running our own businesses, and so there's sometimes a little bit of hustle, but making sure that you have good boundaries and can relax. So we're going to do a whole class on boundaries on Saturday. And of course, goes without saying, connecting to the creator and doing meditations, things like that are going to be ways to get your vibration in tune. And of course, dancing. So Sasha, we will do a dance party towards the end of that, because we always want to make sure we leave these calls with the highest possible vibration and really in tune with the creator, so we can go, so that we have a head start on the week ahead. All right, any questions?
I guess I have a question.
Yeah.
With my current state of sadness, like the last month or so, maybe more than that, a couple months, I'm experiencing like an inertia in a way. And I, I don't know. I'm just kind of like looking as I ask the question, but like in my life, I know I'm doing some things about clearing space right now and not
Mhm.
manifesting anything new, like actually get it out of my way or complete things to be
Mhm.
able to like create that space because I
Yeah.
know what's coming. But I don't know. I'm like, what's coming up for me is some kind of weird uh guilt, I think,
Mhm.
around I'm bad for feeling sad and not being in the vibration of manifestation, and I'm not, I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
uh-huh. So what is my question? My question is like, what is
Mhm.
there, what would you offer as like space
Mhm.
in, I don't know, it's okay to have these time periods where there is inertia where you are just like cleaning or dealing or completing or like you know what I'm saying.
Yes, although I'm going to rebrand it instead of inertia,
Uh-huh.
right? That you're allowed to have pauses, that you're allowed to rest, right? Because we don't have to be go, 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 go all the time. That's why I was happy to move back to Ohio because like having a winter, your body naturally wants to slow down because we do need to slow down every once in a while. We aren't meant to go fast all the time. And whether it's grief or just because you want to, we're all meant to take a pause a little bit. We don't have to be at this high vibration all the time, every day, especially when you're going through stuff. And so one of the things that I found is really, really good for grief is actually doing the heart song.
Mm.
But grief also, it takes a little bit of time. So being really patient with yourself and really being like, I am allowed to slow down. I am allowed to take my time and process this in the way that's in my highest and best. That makes sense?
Yeah.
You don't want to force yourself to be happy if that's not what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe as a society, we can have better talks about allowing people to be whatever they're feeling instead of that automatic, how are you? Oh, I'm totally fine. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask a dovetail question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, I had a really rough last week. Like it kicked my butt. And so
Mm-hmm.
like I had similar feelings of like, oh God, this isn't good for my manifesting. Right. Like, and so like
Okay.
how to like so I hear what you're saying about like pausing and resting, and then
Mhm.
my brain's like, but what about like the bigger things I'm working on? Like, I don't know, like is it my brain is worried about putting out wrong energies.
So first of all, understand that you can always change your vibration when everything's been cleared. And
Hmm.
that like having a bad day, having a bad week isn't going to ruin your entire future.
I
Mhm.
Right.
should hope not.
Right. And just but so bringing that self-forgiveness, like, you know what, I had a rough week. It's okay, I had a rough week. Right. And just make sure and just, do whatever you need to process that rough week. Right. Because it feels like this year is off to a rough start for many of us. Like that very first week was kind of rough.
That Cancer full moon was something fierce.
Yep, it was.
I don't even. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but also too, when you're going through a really, really rough patch, like, wow, this week was harder than it needed to be. Going up to the creator and be like, okay, creator, just please show me, like, because my brain's still in the pain part of it, but creator, show me what I'm supposed to be learning this week.
Mm.
In going up and specifically asking that, like, what is all this BS about? Like asking the creator specifically can also help you, move through it a little bit more quickly. That's,
I'm
yeah.
just tired. I mean, tired.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're not supposed to be doing a lot. So I finally got around to doing my readings for 2023. That's how crazy or busy the beginning of this year has been. I did them yesterday. I know we're halfway through the month, but I'm looking at the progression of this month of the year. And it's like basically this month that, through March, all the cards in the runes are saying this is not a time to try to be super active and going out and doing all the things and doing all the work all the time. Collectively, this is a time for all of us to rest a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
So if we're trying to do too much, that's probably going to bring us down because we're not in tune with the energy of the collective right now. So what I've been doing is tuning into, okay, creator, I only have so much energy today. You know, what are the 3 most important things that I do? And so I'm more focused on creating the right mood and knowing that when I am in the right energy, I'm automatically going to do all the right things for my business. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I know everybody here has a list of a bazillion things they're trying to get done. And just like forcing to be happy, forcing to get done when we're not in a getting done season is going to
Mhm.
work against us. This is more of being in our feelings, more of like clearing out and releasing than it is creating. Makes sense. I'll send you guys a link to that reading too if you want it. It's pretty fascinating what the year is going to look like.
Yeah.
So I did both runes and cards because they hit different audiences and they kind of diverge and come back at one point. So you can feel into intuitively which one's going to be the reading for you. But for the first 3 months, both cards and the runes were like slow down, slow down, slow down, which is not what people want to hear when they're trying to grow their business. So just so you know, slowing down does not mean don't make any money and don't create anything new. It just means take the pressure off and relax and do the thing, and only do the things that you're really, really inspired to do. Right? There's still plenty of money to be made. You can still call in new clients. It's just we're going to call them in from a place of, right, being at ease first and nurturing ourselves and then calling them in. Making sense? We still got bills to pay, so I feel you. And this still may be a very active time for some of us, but only if all the actions that you're taking are easeful and aligned. If you're forcing yourself to do anything right now, I would check to see, do I really have to do it today?
Mhm.
Does that make sense for everyone? Yep. Because otherwise, going against that flow, you're just going to be butting heads with the energy that's trying to get you to slow down and nurture yourself a little bit. So you're going to have like a super active day and then a fall, as opposed to if you just stay in the energy, you'd be like, okay, you know, I'm only going to do what's truly inspiring today, then you're going to have more even days.
Mhm.
I'm also getting like I am getting some space from this conversation around that, and that this is like, you know, that kind of like just self-care or resting or pausing or
Mhm.
you know, having the feelings that you're having is a way to like clear the way
Mhm.
for more. And I'm also getting this image of like, you know, when we in Theta, you write down all the things you want to manifest in your book, and then you like spray them up to creator and they fall down into you. So my thought is like, maybe it's okay that I can say like, okay, I really want a publisher when my
Mhm.
book is done,
Yeah.
and that I can have that desire go out now and
Yeah.
trust creator that it will come back to me when the timing's right.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We're still asking for things, we're still manifesting, right? So yeah, what I've done too is I actually put on my list the best publisher for my book. And I do have one. I've already found mine. So it's actually someone who, yeah, so I'll introduce you. But
Okay, thanks.
yeah, see, so it can also just be that easy. Sometimes we think we have to work so hard for manifestations, and sometimes it's just literally telling people, here's what I'm trying to manifest.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Good point.
Yeah. And we're not always just manifesting for the right now. There's things that like I think I put that on my list forever ago, but also trusting that, you know, you can put like 100 things on your list and knowing that some of them you don't want for 5 years, and that's okay. You can ask for them now, especially if they're big, right? So that way the universe can start working on them. Mhm. But yeah, it feels like the season that we're in now, these first 3 months of the year, is really about clearing all the emotional space. right? Getting everything inside of you super clear and feeling nourished and feeling loved and feeling supported. And so that way, once everything starts to pick up, that way you're going to have the energy, you're going to be ready for it because you're going to have that emotional space and that emotional foundation that you need. Because there's going to be a few months this year where if you're prepared for it, you're just going to take off like a rocket. I think October is the second or third time that happens. A few times where the energy just like, if you're, and that's usually where the cards and the runes divide, split off, because one of them's like, if you're prepared, here's what you're going to get. If you're unprepared, is what you're going to get. And so in the readings, it also shows you like what to work on each month.
Mm.
Makes sense?
Cool.
This can be a really, 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 really good year. It is one about combining your wisdom with your emotions. So it's not a year for hustling. Right? We're really learning how to have that abundance, have everything happen, like have all the dreams come true without having to stress ourselves out anymore. That was a big reason why, well, besides I fell madly in love, but one of the reasons why I moved back to Ohio was I wanted to get out of that hustle energy because I knew it was not right for me personally. I'm not a mover, shaker, hustler. I'm like, you know me, I'm a philosopher. So that energy was not, so it's nice to be in a state or a place that physically supports it. Makes sense? So any other questions? Are there any other things that you're seeing or feeling or reflecting on? All right. So we can stop that.